do the color test.
Yeah, the color brightness is definitely not the same in
I could
game
tell.
mode on the C5.
Holy.
Like,
Okay, yeah. What are we doing? I'm gonna have to have a conversation.
I thought I had seen some reports from elsewhere that this was changed, but it certainly is not. That is not the same.
This is why I can't recommend the C series for gaming. So I guess I'll be making another video talking about this issue.
Look at the Samsung, which has the same level of red and color that this has,
Yeah,
but with this level of brightness without going yellow white.
that's
So
another issue. Yeah.
if you had the S90F here or the S90D or whatever, because this is set to 1200 nits, like that's the trade off you're making to go with this. This is with it turned down to the 1200 nits for the C5. Now, if I turn this up to the 2300 for the S95,
You were nerfing it.
yeah, it's like so much brighter that the camera is not even coming close to showing that difference, which,
Yo,
obviously
that's
it's not
wild.
fair. This isn't
Right, that's
supposed
not
to
fair.
compete. Yeah. So before anyone goes kind of crazy right now with what you're seeing on the screen, obviously we all know the C5 does not compete with the S95F. That's not the point of this. And like you can see how blown out that sun is and how much dimmer. Like it's not even close.
Yeah, and this is a really good example of, if you have your system settings way too high,
You can't
this
even
is what
see
you're gonna
that.
get. You can't see the details of the sun at
Well,
all.
look under the clouds. You can't even make out this whole thing right here on the C5
Right,
at
the
all.
background.
Yeah, so that's the difference that going up to flagship level will make this year for gamers over getting the premium model. And the S90F would slot in the middle of these. Like it'll definitely be better than the C5 and a little bit under the S95F, but in my opinion.
Yeah, and all the issues with game mode for the C5 is like, that's not something I would waste my time with. That's just my opinion, though. Like, I think if you're
for
gaming at all,
like,
you shouldn't consider a C series.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, yeah, you can game on, it'll be fine, but we're at a point where you're just better off with getting the S90.
Because there are so many times, like you were just showing like the C5 next to the S95F, but I bet you in that same scene, the S90F just looks almost as good as the S95F right there. You know what I mean?
Color brightness in game mode absolutely is not the same on the C5.
Nope.
Not even close.
And people say it's not a big issue because you can just use ALM, and it's like, I get that.
Well, even if you
the majority of people who buy a TV and put it into game optimizer mode, this is what they're gonna get.
Yeah, it's like with the filmmaker workaround, like you can see where it's still blown out and there's no detail. There's a game that shows it is not the same.
I told you, dude. I knew it, bro. I knew it. I was like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either. This is the same thing that like the G3 had, C3, and then all the LGs before that. This is what the G4 fixed, and then the G5.
I can't recommend the C series for gaming.
All right, I might as well go to SDR and just see what happens.
Hey, man.
All right, yeah. So this is max SDR brightness on both.
That's just to kind of demonstrate the difference you can get if you want it.
Crazy, because I've never seen that on LG.
Yeah, that's weird.
Sharpness 25. What are these default settings for game mode? What are they doing?
Sharpness 25 is wild. Super resolution on high. What? And this is default SDR gaming?
Yeah.
What the heck? Gotta change all this stuff? What are they trying to be like Samsung now? It's like, that's the thing I don't like about Samsung. Their game mode, you have to change so much.
If ALM is off, you can change peak brightness. If it's on, you can't. But if you change it, then turn it on, it will change to whatever you set it to.
So theoretically, it should work with the Nintendo Switch now.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll let you test that later on. L Rod's asking what TV do we like the best for gaming at the moment. I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be the same, but for me it's the S95F.
For PC gaming, the G5 is kind of a no-go, non-starter for me personally. If the input lag is going to triple, going from 120 to 165 hertz, that completely and utterly defeats the purpose of having that higher refresh rate.
Say what now?
On the G5, the input lag at 120 is 1/3 essentially of what it is at 165, which makes no sense at all. So that literally defeats
What?
the purpose of 165 hertz for me. So as a PC
Well,
gamer, that makes it a non-starter.
bro, that's weird.
Um,
I didn't know that.
yep. On top of that, most gaming is going to be in HDR10. The Dolby Vision gaming is kind of pointless. And the G5 has these posterization and low luminance problems in HDR10, which really affects gaming. And LG also, year after year, consistently has the most noticeable posterization and banding in games in general. And that remains unchanged. So just all of that adds up to the S95F, S90F are like the go-to gaming TVs.
Yep, and no game motion plus. I said it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I get the people that like that and why you like it. For
yeah.
me, I don't like it because it just has like this weird feeling where the feel of the game doesn't match the look of the game, and it bugs me. Now, last year, the C4 was the first C series to actually get a real brightness increase, and the S90D was not a brightness increase or anything over the S90C. It was just the color difference, really. So last year, the C4 actually had some competition for the S90 in that it could be brighter, especially depending on how the tone mapping was done. This year,
Yeah.
the C5, while it's also a little bit brighter than the C4, the S90F is like a big jump for that range of TV. So S90F, I'm sure, is gonna kind of just be all around the better option. Like the C5 is gonna it's just a leapfrog thing. It's gonna end up being like the C3 and the S90C again. Yeah, I mean, and then like I said earlier, when it comes to the G5 and S95F, I think it's kind of the same situation as last year, where darker room.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna want to go for the S95. Brighter living room setting, maybe you want to go for the G5. Especially if you don't like if you have lights hitting the screen itself. And then when it comes to the 83 inch, it's going to be interesting to see if the 83 inch S95F has any of the HDR10 issues that the LG G5 has, which I don't think that it will. So, like, if you're a
Yeah.
gamer and you're looking at the 83 inch, the S95F might be the safer bet right now.
I've thought about it.
And I also kind of think that as the year goes on, the S95F 83 might end up being, a little bit lower in price than the G5. We'll see what happens, but I just kind of feel like they're not going to mark it up as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this year I think is like the year where the flagship OLEDs really separate from the step downs.
For sure.
Obviously, there was a difference last year, but like this year, that gap is getting bigger. If you want the brightest of mini LED LCD TV brightness, but in an OLED, the S95F and the G5 are bringing it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the S95F has impressed me so much. So I can't wait to see the G5 next to C5. All right. Thank you for having me, Classy.
Yep. Thanks for coming on and chatting, and thank you everybody for listening and watching.